So welcome, esteemed panelists. Thank you so much for joining us. So this subject that we have on lifelong learning in the digital age, adapting to a changing workforce. To begin with, I'll open the panel and I'd like to have, brief beginning thoughts of all of you on this, very, pertinent issue that is, in front of us these days. So Mr. Sahu, if we can begin with you.
Yeah, hi. The topic today is adapting to the digital learning for the changing workforce, which is uh, I think, very important in the today's education space, especially with opening and globalization. Lot of mapping needs to be done in various countries, right? So the best way to get into it is going the online way, and obviously looking at it from a micro snippets format. So I think one of the biggest ways we can adapt to it is going the micro credentials way, and that's where I believe a lot of things can be achieved.
Right. Thank you. Over to you.
Okay. I just start with a question to our audience.
Sure.
Have you been struggling to lose weight and gain muscles in the gym? This is very bad
Yes.
question. Actually, this challenge is the same challenge that we are facing in education. In education, we want the students to have the experience, the engaging, the full experience, because in education it's not only you are teaching, you are also learning some skills within the school, learning soft skills. Not only you are teaching some information there, you want to do that thing, and at the same time you want to get as much as you can from the people. You want to give them the technology, you want to give those things. It's the same way that you want to lose fat, so you reduce food, and at the same time you want to gain more muscles, which means that you have to eat more food. So now it's you start struggling like what to eat and when and how and what type of the trainings that you are. I'm facing this issue, by the way. But in education, the same thing. You have the investment. You want to put your investment in education from the budget that comes from the government, and mainly the main investor for education is the government. The government, when it put its investment, they want to put the investment in the right way. They want to cut the budget in the parts that is useless, and to be add more to the part that is useful. And they start facing two or three types of people. We have IT people, which is us, the one who's we believe that going to high technology. So we are looking to have, okay, we have this solution, we have that solution. We go to the portal, and we not think about the community, the society within inside the school, the campus, what the life there,
Right.
at the type of the experience there. We not think about it. We think about, okay, I can give him what's the issue there? To teach, to deliver, we can deliver. To test, we can test. But to give the personality, we don't have that thing. We lost that part.
Right.
But this is the main challenge that we have, that we are trying to balance in education and the investment. So the investor said that I'll give this investment. I want more students, but I want the same experience and the same results, even better.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me introduce first. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Linda from Institut Teknologi Nasional Bandung. Uh, thank you very much for the committee that has invited me to be here. And about lifelong learning, of course, this is important. And in my opinion, it will promote the quality of life in the old age later. So that's why in Indonesia there is a regulation established in 2016 about the past learning recognition. It means that the people who has work will be assessed in such a system, and then will take into account some credits. So the lifelong learning process will be carried out during their work, and of course they can graduate in their to finish their program. Thank you.
Right, right. So, Professor Meena.
Uh, Let me first of all thank the organizers for having put up such a wonderful summit in this beautiful city. And we are discussing about lifelong learning process. I represent a university which is about 100 kilometers from Bangalore city, which is the IT capital of the country. And as we move to our place, there is so much difference between what is their city life and then rural setting. So the process of learning is a lifelong learning for all of us. In that sense, when we were born and went to school, things were different. Today, when child goes to school and colleges, the scenario is different. For him, the learning challenges are different. And in times to come, the technology is changing so fast, which was not earlier times. So we see this difference so much happening, and the technology fast tracking the development. The challenges for institutions are so much overwhelming that to upgrade their skills, to upskill the people, students at different level is a challenge for all higher education institutions. And that's what we feel as owners of the institutions. And I think it's a great subject which they have put up with. And renowned panelists will give a lot of views on this.
Right. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, panelists. I think I completely agree to most of the points. Today we are speaking about lifelong learning. Lifelong learning today has become more hyped than before. Learning has to be always lifelong. There cannot be a static view of learning. So why are we speaking about lifelong learning as a very specific topic in this discussion? Because the timing of the change of the education system is much at a faster pace than we have seen before. Thanks to technology, thanks to availability of information, and thanks to the digital library, which is called Google. In our time, doing a project work used to be rewarded because we took a lot of efforts going to the library and creating a project by saving information for months. Today, we can do it in a matter of minutes. I somehow do not appreciate the term lifelong learning because it basically creates an expiry date the moment we say life. I would rather say it's continuous learning. The question would be, how would I know what is continuous and what is needed for me tomorrow? Or in other words, how do I future proof my requirement of tomorrow? The very idea of future proofing is to understand what the industry is looking for. And the challenge that we face today in the education sector, we are creating graduates who are not going to cater to one sector of the society tomorrow, but is going to build the society of tomorrow. And that is where the problem comes. And the bigger problem comes with which I'm going to leave the panel today for some more food for thought is, we make a mistake by equating learning with teaching. We as educators teach, but students learn. The question is, how is teaching equated with learning has never been researched well, because teaching is never equated with learning. So the question remains, what we try to provide to our future society builders, is it actually the need of the society tomorrow in terms of what they would require as part of their continuous oblique lifelong learning? And that question needs to be answered through some serious brainstorming. I hope we will be able to figure out the answer to these grieving issues from the wonderful panel today.
Wonderful, sir. I think you definitely raised a very pertinent point, and definitely I think it should be continuous learning because, then I believe that makes it, even more, I think, acceptable, because then it, it percolates in us. Otherwise, I think generations, probably behind us, they never actually felt the need to, to enhance their, abilities or capabilities. So, sir, as you rightly mentioned that, technology has played actually a very key role in highlighting this subject. So, I'd like to know, in your respective organizations, the universities and the institutions that you are, what are the initiatives you're taking to actually encourage these steps? So, sir, I will go like this
Yeah,
again.
I can actually, I won't take much time
Sure.
from others, but I would say we were very lucky. So I represent a very boutique organization called SP Jain. Very boutique in the sense we offer very specific programs which are management oriented. Now we have moved on to into technology enabled programs and technology oriented programs. COVID was a big kind of a, how to put it across, eye opener for us.
Right.
Our programs are basically make students move from one place to another physically. So we boast of an multicultural exposure. But that became a, not a boon but bane for us when traveling was not a preferred mode of studying during COVID. We had to think something different, but we were very lucky. Trust me, I'm using the word very carefully. We were very lucky. Why? I don't know whether we saw COVID coming, we never, but we saw the proliferation of technology coming in. So we created a platform which nobody in Asia has created before, where everyone was trying to provide education through Zoom. We created a media studio in our campus.
Wonderful.
We are only the third in the world to have created that. We created something, a platform called Engaged Learning Outcome, where students are on a virtual platform, but when they are on the other side, they feel that they are inside the class. And trust me, during those 2 years, our enrollment and online programs, which doesn't come cheap, moved up by 400%, which was a clear indication that students do prefer programs online and they are ready to pay a premium for it, provided they get that quality of education and the service that they are looking for, and they are motivated. So the key was, technology is always good, but it is very difficult to remain motivated as a student.
Absolutely.
Coursera has million subscribers to their program, but trust me, only 6 to 7% complete the programs in edX and Coursera if they are long drawn. So now to conclude, why did I say lucky? Because it's for everyone. We become lucky when our preparations meet our opportunity. We need to be prepared because opportunity will come. And that's, I think, again, is a part of that continuous learning journey for us. We could see something which is moving very fast, and that's technology. Now, how to blend that technology in a user-friendly manner and do something different. So we did something different, and we moved, as the great book, 0 to 1, we moved from 0 to 1 rather than moving from 1 to a million.
Right, right. Mr. Meena, if you could share your thoughts.
It's very interesting to even share the experiences. Before founding this university, I was heading higher education department in government in Andhra, in Karnataka, Bangalore. And that time, that was 2013 to 2015. And that time I had the idea that because all universities were working in silos, colleges were working in silos, and the admissions in top institutions was happening 100%. And there were 80% institutions in which seats were going for asking. The students were not available, not joining them. Maybe the quality was the main thing. So I said that why not we bring all people and record their classes and make those classes available, recorded videos to all of them.
Right.
But I think that was too ahead of time maybe. So some agreed, some did not agree, and it didn't finally take the shape there. But thanks to COVID, as my colleague had mentioned here, it transformed everybody, whether we liked or not, but it changed the way we started thinking, and then this became an accepted norm, the digital learning. And when I founded the university, I wanted to make it a smart university. And in last 6 years, I still struggle to educate my own faculty that adopt technology, teach students, make them learn better things. But then students are better prepared than the teachers. That's the
Right.
challenge for all of us.
Right.
So the technology is overtaking all of us. And then, but technology has to serve us. We can't serve technology. So this challenge is perpetually there for all of us. And in fact, it's a learning process for all of us. As he said, it's a continuous learning. It's a lifelong learning sense, in the sense that our life is not permanent. In that sense, it's lifelong learning.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's a continuous. As a society, as a nation, as a globe, we have to all evolve. And then knowledge is universal, and the knowledge is also changing. So it is in that sense we have to be aware of everything which is happening.
Right.
There are things which we byproduct of the technology we have. People learn that. Bad things they learn faster. They use technology for bad of the society, not good of the society. For good of the society, we all make efforts to make people aware of that. But then bad things people learn, they use same technology and then do the negative aspects. So that
Right.
also is another aspect of the whole thing.
Right.
So in education institutions, we have a perpetual challenge of creating good citizens and good people through education system. I think that's the challenge for all of us.
Right. Professor Melinda, if you could share, some initiatives that you think that, your institution is taking up to have this, future skills incorporated.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, talking about lifelong learning, of course, digital technology is very important and challenging. And I think not only digital technology, of course, because teaching methodology is always important. Like maybe we can do the project-based learning that students can engage communication actively to develop digital literacy skills. And of course, establishing the partnership between industry and educational institution is a paramount, because it is important that the students, means the university, will offer the content in the related to industrial need, and of course the industries will give the valuable insight related to the current situation, and of course next trend of future industries. So that's why collaboration between the educational institution and also the industry is very, very important. And I noticed that in the curricula is very important, that higher education must adopt the adaptive curricula and also flexible curricula. So they can, if they can make changes if the industrial needs also needs to give the content of the, to make change the content of the curricula. Yeah,
Absolutely. Very rightly said. Sir, would you like to add your thoughts to this? Yeah.
Yeah, from the beginning of SEU, before 10 years, it was mentioned that SEU is a government university that is targeting long time learning or long life learning. So this is not a thing that we are at SEU, that thing that we are want to do. It's mission for us, and it is mentioned that that's the first Saudi e-university. So it is not a mission that we are working for. It's an order, and by the way, that was royal order for SEU from its beginning. So SEU, the things that maybe other universities are looking for, it's our mission to have it. Our mission to adopt the learning in Saudi Arabia and to work within that thing. So from day one, we have to have or to issue our bylaws that enables the distance education, e-learning, to see the rules there for education in Saudi Arabia, and to come up with the new rules that enables the long life learning, like We could accept students after they passed 5 years of their secondary school. You can accept the students if he is an employee. You don't have to didn't ask him for approval from his employer.
Right.
He could join us. We have to start studying student in the night or in the weekends. We have to look to the elder students. So if he's more than 45, we can accept him. If he's more than 60, we can accept him. We have to have our branches covering all Saudi Arabia. Instead that all universities they only have one branch. They cannot make more than one branch. But for us, we have to go with many branches. So we end up having um, 13 branches. Each branch has male and female, which means that 26 branches. So we have the largest now network between the universities within Saudi Arabia, within those branches. And from the way we are educating students. So you have to take care about these people. They have limited time. They have other tasks to do. They are not 100% with you. So you have once you create a curriculum or create a course, that course should be engaging, should be flexible, and should be and it has an impact to him even in if he go back to his work or for his future. Maybe he came to you to change his career path. Maybe he's retiring and he want to add to that thing. And these are the points that we look to, and we should offer this thing with an uh, tools or with enabling technology in that thing.
Right.
So to achieve that thing, I'll add
Sure.
this thing. We came up with a blended model
Okay.
for learning that contains that third of your study you should attend within the classes. The other third, which will be online, but with a faculty member with you. And the third, we name it self-learning, which is pure e-learning.
Wonderful, wonderful. Which is how Professor Melinda mentioned about, industrial collaboration and, definitely, continuous talks happening and, exchanges happening between industry and academia to actually enhance this process of continuous learning. Your thoughts on that and, how are you contributing towards this?
Right. So, I mean, just to give you a background of where this comes from, what I'm going to say, we effectively are a company which powers more than 18 plus universities in acquiring more and more students. So, we do everything which helps them to create USPs. One of the important things which you last asked was, how you are empowering universities. Is we realized that, as sir rightly said, it's instead of lifelong, it's continuous learning. So the impact is with what is the need of the industry, what is the need of the academia, and the gap between academia and industry. And we realized that most of our curriculum is not updated regularly, and only the top notch universities accept and look into what the industry looks at. So that's where we realized that why not bring this in smaller aspects, introduced or integrate smaller certifications directly from the industries who happen to also take the courses of our classes, and that gave us tremendous results. We have seen a lot of acceptance, placements increased, and these placements again helped us in admissions. Moreover, just to also give another perspective, uh, during the COVID, as sir was saying, blended learning, we realized that there is a lot of noise in the market. We also had one of our co-panelists talking about Google versus how we used to do the research in our days. I think one of the important things today as educators, we have the responsibility of guiding the people in the right direction, because knowledge is or information, there is no lack of that, right?
Absolutely.
So there is a huge information out there. Everybody can actually learn from KG to masters by himself, but the point is what to learn. So what
Right.
initiative we started is, we asked our faculty members to look at this particular subject that you are teaching and go to the top notch websites, maybe from IIT Madras, Harvard, MIT, find out those courses, and a lot of YouTube videos, create bunches of it, and then give it as references. So that
Right.
way we have seen that a lot of our students' interest has increased in online learning also, and acceptability has increased. So that experience factor which we always talk about, that a teacher can never be replaced by an online learning, I think that's just about how you approach the problem. That's how we think we have taken the
Right.
steps. Thank you.
Very important point you've raised, about tailoring education programs according to your future skills that are required. So, sir, if I can come back to you on this and, have your thoughts. Dr. Banerjee, what do you think, what needs to be done on, identifying this gap on, identifying future needs and tailoring the content accordingly?
Yeah, so I'll come back to who we are. We are educators. We are not agents of sharing information.
Right.
Most of the time, we forget that we are educators. We are sharing information, which is the chalk and talk method, which is, I won't say it is bad, but I don't think it's very relevant as of today, as Sir said and uh, Doctor said. I'll just start with something which is on a fun side. When we were small, I was small. Occasionally, when my father used to introduce me to his colleagues and say, no, he is studying, then his colleagues, my father was from IIT, a colleague used to say, your son is intelligent. Today, we don't say that. Today, we say, no, intelligent is not important. Artificially intelligent is more important. So if you are on the stage today, so where is your prepared speech? He said, no, I don't have a speech, but I have something called an open AI, which
Right.
will do that speech for me.
Right.
So imagine the information overload was something which bothered us. Today, we have moved to the refinement of information overload through the open AI. Most of us don't use the latest version, but if you use the latest version, it can do wonders for you. Tailoring of requirement of skills will come when we go a step back and understand what skills are required.
Absolutely.
Unless, exactly taking the cue from Sir, unless we engage actively the industry to which our students are going to cater to, we will always have that mismatch of need and want, need and provide. So I think much more interaction of the industry is required with the academic world, both from the teachers who are providing the education and the students who are absorbing that education. Like, for example, if I talk of manufacturing excellence, it reminds me of Germany, but very few people in this room can tell me which is the #1 MBA college in Germany.
Right.
When it comes to basic education, Finland has the role model of basic education, but we cannot name a school in Finland because we are always moving towards Harvard and Wharton and MIT because that's how we are brought up.
Right.
So I think it is required for us to make sure that our students goes beyond that traditional summer internship program where most of the time they are doing something which is more ticking the boxes. They need to dirty their hands on the shop floor. Come out of that mindset that I am a business management student and I'm looking for an aircon job. They need to be there, irrespective of whether you are an engineer or an engineer. If they don't want, they will not be relevant tomorrow. And we need to engage the industry to understand. The skill gap report every year is published by the United Nations. We know what skills are required in the next century and this. But the question is, what are we doing to provide those skills? Because honestly, as educators, I won't say that we are not competent, but we are partly competent. We can bridge that other part by bringing the industry very close to us. That's my take.
Wonderful, wonderful, sir. Mr. Meena, your thoughts.
As my colleague has mentioned, see the challenges for us are very many actually for the educators and for the next gen higher education scenario. We have so much of information already. It was not like a dearth of information which was there in the past. In the past, we used to carry pocket dictionaries to know the word, new word, and then remember. Today you don't have to. You just touch of the button, you know everything about everything. Everything. That's the overload we have. So in this scenario, when the agenda is being set by many people, I don't know who is setting agenda. We recently read about the Neuralink, that you can insert a chip in your brain and then it will do the repair part, or a deficiency in the brain, or it may do every function which you may not think of as a human being today. So we do not know in which territory we are going and how I am going to have a good faculties in the times to come. So it's a perpetual challenge. So there's a need to maybe detox the whole thing. Today, many countries are talking of keeping the students away from the digital gadgets and giving them limited exposure. And in that scenario, in a world of flux, we are all working. So definitely we have to find a right path, because as a generation, as a human beings, we have the responsibility of protecting our own world in which we are living. We
Absolutely.
cannot destroy it.
Right.
But at the same time, we are thinking of going to moon, Mars, and everywhere, creating colonies there. Whereas we are not able to best manage our own world today. That's the scenario in which we are.
Right, right, right. Before we move ahead, any questions from the audience if we have? Yeah, okay. Deepak, if you can pass the mic to gentlemen at the front here, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. G.K. Thapalial. I am Vice Chancellor, Swami Vivekanand Subharati University, Meerut. I thank all the panelists for really discussing it so well on this beautiful topic, that is continuous learning, lifelong learning. I would like to add some spiritual connotation to that. And why I say spiritual connotation, my university name starts with Swami Vivekanand. So I'll quote Swami Vivekanand. Swami Vivekanand said, learning starts from the womb of the mother and ends till the last breath. So that is the lifelong learning, he said. But he also added, what is that lifelong learning? He said, lifelong learning is the quest to know the truth. And that quest to know the truth comes from within. The purpose of the education should be to enlighten the mind of the learner to understand and to think what is the ultimate. Ultimate means for everything. They want to know the truth. So that inquisitiveness, if we can generate in the student's mind, probably we will create a student who will keep on learning throughout life. That is the purpose I just wanted to add. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Any other question that we have? No? Okay. Sir, we're almost, at the closure of our discussion. I'd like to, have one key takeaway from all of you, how do you see the future?
Yeah, I think, it was great hearing everybody's views on continuous learning. And I think, the last, as sir said, the quest should come from within. So I think it's more about us than what we want to give. So I'll stick to that.
Thank you very much. First of all, since we are closing, I want to thank Elets for having me for this event. This is my third time to be with them. I've been them in Delhi, and I went with them to Malaysia, and I saw many things there from these two countries. Really, answering to your question, I see that within next 2 to 3 years, all things that we are living now will not be there. The way of study, the thing that we are learning, each and everything, there will be totally new things. And I think is the future is shining, and the way we are doing things, the way we are living will be totally different. It's like before electricity and after electricity. Now we have before AI and the way of life, and after that one. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, lifelong learning is not only about the higher education, but also must be supported by government policy and also infrastructure investment. And of course, device affordable. So there are many um, factors to be supported to make a lifelong learning can be implemented in especially in Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Melinda. Sir.
I think the way forward is to collaborate as in the previous sessions we had, learn from each other, learn from one another, and then use our own wisdom and our own inner thing. There's something inside which tells you what is good, what is bad. So we should always learn and promote goodness everywhere, and that's what will do good to the whole world and each one of us.
Thank you, Mr. Meena. Yes.
I think there is nothing beyond what you have said. The future belongs to those who basically would be prepared for the unprepared. The more we are prepared for the unprepared, the happier we live. And the happier we live, the better world we create. And I think, sir, what you have spoken, I come from that background of Ramakrishna Mission myself, so I can tell you that, as the Swamis say, success doesn't equate to progress. Progress is increasing your top line and bottom line. But success is basically progress added with humanity, ethics, and spirituality. And spirituality is nothing to do with religion. It's about the sense of mind to be a better self so that you inspire others to become a better self. I think that sums up all. And thank you so much. And ma'am, it's been a wonderful session.
Perfect, sir. Perfect. It's been beautiful. I think you've touched the right chord, of all of us, what you wanted to bring together. So thank you so much to all our esteemed panelists here, and thank you for your presence. Thank you for your thoughts, that you brought together.